Hey guys, Coach Reagan here with your whiteboard workout. Today we're going to do a kettlebell leg workout. So to warm up, hop on the treadmill or the Stairmaster or whatever machine you like. You have 3 to 5 minutes of cardio of your choice, or you can take a walk outside if the weather's nice. And then once you're nice and warmed up, grab your kettlebell, or you can also do this, most of these exercises can be done with a dumbbell. So if you need a lighter weight, or if you don't like the shape of the kettlebell or it feels awkward, then feel free to go ahead and grab a dumbbell. So for our first circuit, we have 12 repetitions of 3 exercises, beginning with the goblet squat. So you're going to hold your kettlebell or your dumbbell up by your chest, keeping your shoulder blades down and back. Take it out to squat stance, so your knees are a little bit wider than your hips. You're going to slightly turn your toes out, and then sending your hips back, keeping your weight in your heels, knees tracking over your toes, lower down to 90 degrees, squeeze your glutes, and come right back up. And repeat. Pull your belly button into your spine, keeping that weight as close as you can to your chest. That's going to help your posture in the squat. Make sure you slightly tuck your hips at the bottom, so you don't want to be arching your back, you don't want to be tucked here. It's just a slight tuck so that you protect your lower back, pulling your belly button in towards your spine. Okay, so you have 12 repetitions of goblet squats. Then our second exercise is kettlebell swings. So in the same stance, you're going to keep a slight bend in your knees the whole time. When you lower down, the kettlebell comes in between your legs, and then you squeeze your glutes, press your hips forward at the top, and repeat. When you come down, you are not going down all the way to 90 degrees. It's just a slight bend in your knees. Squeeze your glutes, press your hips forward at the top. Let the kettlebell come up, no higher than eye height. Nice, gentle swing, nothing forced. Just let the momentum kind of carry you and squeeze your glutes, press your hips forward as much as possible at the top. Engage your core, keeping your shoulders down and back the whole time. All right, after kettlebell swings, we have stationary lunges with a kettlebell pass. So you're going to place your right foot or left foot, whichever one you want to start with, forward. Lunge down, so your both knees are bent at 90 degrees. Chest is up. Here you're going to pass the kettlebell underneath your leg and come back up to the other side. Then repeat. You have 12 on each side. So 12 on each leg. Squeezing your glutes to help you keep your balance. Reach your kettlebell underneath your leg and pass it to the other side. Keep those knees tracking over your toes the whole time. Once you do 12 on one side, go ahead and do 12 on the other, and then repeat, beginning with goblet squats. Okay, after you've done 3 rounds of that circuit, go ahead and set your kettlebell or dumbbell to the side, and we have a cardio burst. So we have 30 jumping jacks and 10 burpees. Nice and easy. Let yourself catch your breath. Tapping your toes out to the side lightly if you want to do this modification, or you can also do with your hands in front of your chest if overhead is bothering your shoulders. Make sure that you're tapping your toes out and your knees are pointed forward when you tap out to the side. So just like that. Or you can take it up to a hop if that feels good. Then we have 10 burpees. So you can do this on the bench or on the ground, whichever feels good. This is really going to focus on your hip mobility. So if you have really tight hips, then you should probably take it to a bench, and that will help you open up your hips gently and have good form the whole time. without putting too much strain and impact on your hip joint. Okay, so you're going to place your hands directly underneath your shoulders. Go ahead and hop or step back into your plank, squeezing your glutes together. Everything is tight around your midline. Neck is long, shoulder blades are down and back. Then take your feet, you're going to walk them into the outside of your hands. Toes are slightly turned back. Go ahead and take it back to your squat first before you come up and add a hop if you'd like to. Okay, so after your 10 burpees, go ahead and grab your dumbbells or your kettlebell again. And this time for our second circuit, we have 10 repetitions and again 3 rounds of these 4 exercises. So our first exercise is a sumo squat. So you're going to, I'm going to show you first without the kettlebell. So on all of these exercises, if you need to, you can set your kettlebell or your dumbbell to the side and do them without the weight. First, you're going to come to a wider stance, then shoulder width apart, and go ahead and rock back onto your heels. Squeeze your glutes to turn your toes out. So rock back, squeeze your glutes to turn your toes out. That's as far as you're going to turn your toes out in this exercise. Make sure you aren't trying to force your toes back in some perfectly straight line that isn't natural. That's going to put a lot of pressure on your knees, on your ankles, and on your hips. So we're just going to come to a wide stance, rock back, squeeze our glutes to turn our toes out, and then from here we're going to squat down and up, and you're going to go straight down, straight up. So you aren't going to send your hips back like a normal squat. You're going to lower down, come right back up, as if you're in between 2 panes of glass and you don't want to shatter the glass on either side, or 2 brick walls that aren't going to move. Whichever way of thinking about it helps you. So your knees are tracking over your toes. So that's why we turn, when we do our turnout, we're going to squeeze our glutes, because you have to keep your glutes squeezed just like you did to turn your toes out when you're in your squat. That's going to make sure that your knees are tracking over your second toe. So if you're right here and you feel your toes are, or your knees are going in, that probably means either you aren't engaging your glutes and you need to squeeze your glutes in order to turn your knees out over your toes, or your toes are turned out too far. So that means you need to take your toes in slightly so that your knees will track right over them. So straight down and up, you have 10 repetitions. When you are ready, you can add a weight. Or if you want, you can take it up by your chest if you feel. When I do goblet squats or squats with the dumbbell, you can do it like this, with the dumbbell up on my chest. That helps me with my posture. So if you find that you forget about your posture, your chest, your shoulders roll forward, you are just a little bit off in your posture when you do your squats, then front squats or anything where you have the weight in front of you, that is going to help you pay more attention to your form and help you get it a little bit more natural, the feeling of keeping your chest open, your shoulder blades down and back. All right, so after your sumo squats, we're going to take you to a single leg deadlift. So with the kettlebell in one hand, I'm going to send my left leg back, so I'm going to keep the kettlebell in my left hand. So same hand as the leg that is going behind you. So I'm kicking my right leg back, weight is in my right hand, reach towards the ground, drive your toes towards your shins, and come back up. It helps to find a spot to focus on that's not moving. Keep your shoulder blades down and back the whole time, pulling your belly button into your spine. Flat back. You do not have to go all the way down to 90. If you come right here and go right back up, that is good. Keep it there. Keep the good form, Keep the stability. Make sure you're keeping a slight bend in your base knee. You do not need to go all the way down to where you're straight line. So just do it, works for you, and listen to your body. Make sure you aren't pushing yourself too much, because then you'll risk straining something. If you need to set the weight down, go ahead and do that. Just keep moving the whole time and perform 10 reps on each side. Then we have calf raises. We have 2 more exercises in this circuit. So our first of the last 2 is calf raises. So you're going to come with your feet parallel to each other. They aren't touching each other, but there's about 3 or 4 inches in between them. So they're directly underneath your hips. Your weight is going to go straight up and down. So good posture, squeezing your shoulder blades down and back. You can, if you'd like, you could hold dumbbells in your hands here, or you can take your palms and face them forward, and this will help you remember to keep your shoulder blades down and back and open up your chest. All right, then you're going to lift your heels off the ground as high as you can and slowly lower down, slow and controlled. So keep your chest forward as if somebody has a string tied to the top of your head and they're pulling you up towards the ceiling and then slowly lowering you down. Okay, so squeeze your thighs together, your midline. It's going to help you stabilize. Your knees are tracking straight over your toes this whole time. Think of when you go up, you're standing up like right on that second toe and down. So we have 10 repetitions of calf raises. And then our last thing that we're going to do is curtsy lunges. So grab your dumbbell or your kettlebell. Again, you can keep it up by your chest to help your posture. We have our curtsy or cross back lunges that we've done lots of times before. So you guys should be getting pretty familiar with these. Standing with your feet and hips and knees all pointed forward. You're going to take your left leg, cross it behind your right, sit down, straight down, come back up, and switch sides. So you have 10 on each side. Make sure that your knees are tracking over your toes. Squeeze your glutes and lower that back knee to the ground, toward the ground. All right, so after you do 10 on each of those sides, you'll repeat that entire circuit for a total of 3 rounds. And then we have 1 more cardio burst. So that'll be 30 high knees and 20 plank jacks. So for your high knees, we've done these before as well. I'm sure you guys are familiar with them. Make sure you keep your toes light steps when you lower them towards the ground. Drive your toes towards your shins as you're driving your knees up towards 90 degrees. And moving your hands hip to ear, ear to hip. If you'd like, you can take it up to a light jog right here. Staying quiet and keeping your chest forward so that your back isn't leaning back. All right, then last thing, we have 20 plank jacks. So take it down to a plank. You can do this on the bench or on the ground. Your hands are directly underneath your shoulders. Squeezing your midline together. You'll hop out into a plank jack and bring your feet back together. Try and keep your back as flat as possible and your hips as still as possible. All right, so you have 20 plank jacks, and that's it for this workout. So make sure you drink lots of water today. It's been really hot out. You want to make sure you're getting hydration, water to those muscles. Make sure you stretch when you're done. We did a lot of squats and legs today, so do a good standing quad stretch. Squeezing those knees together. Both legs also, so you could do some walking or standing hamstring stretches right there from those single leg deadlifts. Will really tighten up those hamstrings as well as those calf raises. So go ahead and do some standing calf stretches. Squeeze your glutes, press your hips forward. Then shift your weight back. Straighten that front leg, bend the back leg, and come up to standing and repeat on the other side. So squeezing your glutes, pressing your hips forward. Then bend your back knee, straighten your right leg, Make sure your toes are pointing forward the whole time. Knees are tracking over your toes. Come up to standing. So that's it. That's all I have for you guys today.